Hey guys, and welcome back to our tutorials on Deathwatch 40k tabletop stuff. In this one, we are going to talk about psychic powers, and then we're going to do some combat simulations to give you guys a better idea of what combat looks like when you play it out. And then you'll see how the D100s and the D10s kind of play out, as well as characteristics and stuff. So again, I have Sar with me. He's going to be going over the Psyker powers with you. We do have some house rules introduced to the Psyker powers, so a lot of the stuff he's talking about will be mainly house rules. Though if you are watching our game, then at least you'll know kind of the rules and stuff we use for Psyker powers. Generally, the book's actually not too good, I think, on the Psyker powers. They penalize Psykers quite a bit, making it really difficult to do anything really that's sustained power wise. So we just kind of ease it up on the Psyker so that he can actually play his class effectively. So why don't we go ahead and start off, and why don't you just dive right into it. So I want you kind of talk about psi rating, the different levels you can do, how it actually affects, and then maybe give some examples of your powers, and then give their like damage and their pin, and maybe how your psi rating affects it, if you would.
Okay, so um, in combat, I'll give you guys a little synopsis of this right now, and then once we actually start combat, as I use the stuff, I'll tell you a little more about the talent itself, because a lot of them don't have, they're not flashy or anything. They just give basic stat boost. Like Iron Arm gives me my psi rating times 5 to parry parry itself, but it gives me an extra parry as well, which is important. Downside to it is I can't use I can't use the arm that has Iron Arm on it for anything. I mean, but that doesn't matter to me too much. It's basically like carrying a shield around. We also have a lot of ranged abilities, and this is like where you would use your psi rating would come into play a little more with by using fettered, unfettered, or push talents, or the pushed abilities, or by fettering them, unfettering them, or pushing them, is where those would come into play. We talked a little bit about the different ways you can manifest your powers in earlier videos, so you could watch it again if you wanted to, but I'll give a little bit of an explanation over each one up. Generally, me personally, I usually just unfetter my powers, which is just a basic attack form, because it's just at full psi rating, so it's just normal damage. It's still pretty effective, but it does have a lot more effect on your powers. Not damage-wise so much, but as like what they do, like Avenger itself actually has armor pinned to it, and it's based directly off of your psi rating. So if I push it, I would actually get a lot more damage out of it because it would pin through much more armor. But it's not very safe to push your powers, even though I like to, because you can wipe your kill team. So that's pretty shitty, and you can actually do it pretty easy. It's not, I mean, every peril is terrible, and it's not that hard to get a peril because you have to roll 75 or higher, so 25% chance, and that's bad. But
Well,
I'll probably push one here, and we'll find out. The book says 75 or higher for perils, so.
yeah. Why don't we take a step back, and why don't we go over the psychic phenomenon and perils of the warp and what that exactly is? Because if people have played Dungeons and Dragons before, they're kind of similar with mages, but in this game, in D&D, mages have a certain amount of spells they can cast per day, and that's kind of just how it goes. In 40k, you can use your powers as much as you want, but the drawback is when you use them, bad things can happen. When you unfetter your power, if you roll doubles, you cause a psychic phenomenon, and these can be minor things to more important things, more deadly things. I'll actually, why don't you go over psychic power or the psychic phenomenons and the perils of the warp, since you probably know more of them than I do off the top of your head.
Well, psychic phenomenon, as he said, happens on rolls that are doubles, like 11 or 22. Or any of them, 88, 99. It doesn't matter. Yeah, and what happens when they do that is when you roll one, your GM will roll a D100, and when this happens, whatever he rolls is actually the phenomenon you get. So like, yeah, for unfettered. I mean, when you fetter a power, it's you basically hold it back, and it's half your psi rating rounded up. So my psi rating is 3, it would be a 2 because it's 1.5 rounded up, of course. But you can never have Psychic Phenomenon, which makes it a really safe way to use powers, but it's really boring using powers like that, so I won't ever do it. You'll never see me fetter a power. As for Psychic Phenomenon, you don't actually roll them that often. I mean, they show up, but it is pretty hard to roll doubles because there's only 10 of them. What's actually 8 of them, I think, or 9.
I think it's 9.
But I don't know. Say I roll a 22, he'd roll a D100 like that. And since I got 58 in the book is actually falling upwards, which is pretty bad because everybody within 2d10 meters of the Psyker, which is 2 10 dice rolled, and then you add the numbers up, will rise 1d10 meters in the air and then, gravitate briefly. And then after a bit, they'll all crash back down on there. It's pretty bad because if you go off of basic rules, you actually could take quite a lot of fall damage from that and potentially hurt your party really bad because it's a 1d10 plus however many meters you've fallen, and it gets pretty brutal if they fall like 18 or 19 meters, so you can't really resist against armor-wise. It doesn't come up very often, but when it does, you actually have a chance during a Psychic Phenomenon to roll Perils of the Warp roll, and I think it's a 90. I think that's actually the 75 or.
Yeah, Perils of the Warp is 75 to 100, I think. So when you do it, so basically you have your Psychic Phenomenon table, and you have all the stuff that can happen from that. And then you have, if you roll 75 or higher on the Psychic Phenomenon, then you hit Perils of the Warp, and that's where the really bad stuff happens.
Like any of them, we can roll another 1d100, which came out to be 49. And on the Perils table, that's actually Warp Whispers, which makes the voice of demons fill the air within 40-10 meters of the Psyker, so it could be a pretty big range. Everybody in the area, including the Psyker, have to make a hard willpower test, which is a negative 20, or gain 1d10 corruption point. And as he said before, corruption points matter a lot, but don't really matter until you get high, but a chance to gain a 1d10 corruption is pretty brutal because you don't usually pick up that many at one time. Anything else for now, Jose?
No, I think we're good. Well, let's see. No, because I think a lot of your combat psi powers will probably play out through combat, and I think I could take it over from here and talk about half actions, full actions, and stuff like that during combat. And then what we have here is different enemy types that you'll face in the game. So these are all Tyranids basically, and we have our Hive Tyrant here, which is our boss monster, and then we have our Tyranid Warrior down here, which is a pretty tough guy, but you'll see how he plays out. Then we also have another type of enemy, which is the Hormagaunts, but one Hormagaunt won't do much against a Space Marine, so you lump them all together into a Horde, and then their stats differ because they're a Horde now. And so we have them laid out. Yeah. I had Sorrow build some fortifications here. I don't know exactly how much we're actually going to lose, but if we don't use much, at least here's some cool fortification drawings. I think he was filling his moat with barbed wire, but I don't know. Alright. So why don't we start with a Tyranid Warrior, and then we'll pretend like Sorrow's walking down I don't know. He's walking in some desert somewhere, and all of a sudden he sees a Tyranid warrior, and he's like, fucking Tyranid warrior, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then they just get into combat, and there's nothing special about it, I guess, except there's somehow a bridge, a mountain, and a fortress, and whatnot. Anyways, so I'll go ahead and pull the 5 tire now, and the Horde. And I'll go ahead and move the Tyranid warrior up here. Do you want me to? You want more space?
Just checking.
Alright, why don't we move him back a little bit more? And actually, I'm going to pause here real quick while I grab my book so I have my stat block for the Tyranid warrior. So we will be right back in 1 second. Okay. Cool. Okay, we're back. I got everything set up. So, I guess, is this okay distance? Like, how far do you want to start out?
It's fine. They'll have to close the gap anyway.
Alright, because, you know, Tyranid warriors are pretty fast, so why don't I move him back a little bit for you? Let's move Mal's character out of the way here. Ow. Ow.
We can just go. They'll be okay.
Okay. I'll just go back here. Alright, so the first thing you do whenever you have combat, and both parties are aware of each other, is you roll your initiative. So your initiative is actually a d10, so we'll go ahead and roll ours. And I got an 8. And he has his macro set up, so he actually has, down here you can see, his d10 plus 5. He rolled a 9 plus his 5. So he got a 14. I got an 8, but I need to check my Tyranid warrior's agility bonus, which is a 4, which means I have a 12. So he will go first in combat since his initiative is higher. So I guess since you went first, you go first in combat. Do you want to explain half actions, full actions, since I don't have to, or so I don't have to?
See what you did there.
Yeah, I lost initiative on purpose.
I don't know that much about half actions and full actions, but we can start with the basics, I guess, since I have a chance to.
Okay.
So, for my turn, since I've rolled initiative, I get to go first. I am going. You usually have two half actions during your move, and a free action if you wanted to like yell at somebody. You could yell at somebody as a free action. But generally, you have 2 half actions or 1 full action. Full actions are usually really good actions, but of course they take up your full round, so you're not able to do anything else with them. Like for now, I'm actually going to use up 1 half action to move my 5 distance I can move to put myself behind cover, like so. And I'm going to wait and save up my other half action so I can use it next round. Or use it before my turn on the next round. So, your go, host.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Had to do something real quick. Okay, so we're back. So Sorrow used 1 half action to move, and then he is delaying the other half action, which means he can essentially wait and bring it back up when he wants to before his next turn. So here's our Tyranid warrior here. So this Tyranid warrior specifically is mainly melee. I didn't put any biomorphs on him or anything to give him ranged attacks, so he's going to need to get up in melee. But Tyranids are very good at doing this. They are very, very, very fast. So first of all, I'm going to measure how far away he is exactly. Take my measuring tool here, and we got a distance of about 26. I need to go at 26 or 25. So what I'm going to do is I have a half movement of 6, a full movement of 12, a charge of 18. My charge must end an attack, so if I move 18, I have to end an attack. And I have a run of 36. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I was talking specifically to the tubers there for a second. Let's see. I will move this Tyranid warrior like so. So what I want to do actually is get him into about an 18 distance and then charge him. So But I do need to have a straight line as well. So let's see, we'll use a full. And that's fairly straight with it. Probably even go there. Okay. Alright. So I use my full movement action to go about 8, which is my half movement is 6, but my full is 12. So I went about 8 or 9. And my turn is effectively done. So it's back to your turn.
I am going to take this opportunity to use my half action from the previous round
Okay.
to cast Possibility Shield, or try to. I'm going to do it unfettered, and this will be my 1 power that I get to keep up indefinitely. So, I failed. My brain jammed.
Did you got Psychic Phenomenon?
Yes, I did.
Uh-oh.
99.
Uh-oh. Okay, we get to see a Psychic Phenomenon here. Let's see what happens.
Rolling.
Okay, let me go get it. Do you have the Psychic Phenomenon tables open?
I do.
Alright, I guess I'll roll it for you. 97!
That's not good.
That's the perils of the warp, buddy. Alright, let's see what you get. Oh!
100. Okay, so my character has effectively exploded, basically. The Psyker is immediately and irrevocably destroyed. He is either sucked screaming into the warp, never to be seen again, or consumed utterly by hellfire. The GM may rule that there is a 50% chance that a Daemon Prince appears in the Psyker's place. So what you have just seen is the utter and total annihilation of a veteran character through unlucky roll. It's unbelievably brutal. I'm assuming since we're actually just doing a battle tutorial, we'll dismiss it, unless you want to put a Daemon Prince out here and let me fight with it.
Dude.
I'll take a mini Horde. I'll take him.
Dude, you are so lucky this shit happened in the tutorial, not the actual game.
Oh, no.
How unlucky would that be?
This is what I was talking about earlier, about being able to kill your whole kill team. And that was on nothing. That was just a normal roll. I literally do that roll every single combat. Every combat I've ever been in, I have used that roll.
Multiple times, in
the fact that it
fact.
turned out like this, yes, multiple times in combat. So to me, there's a little bit of chance in every character, but most characters don't implode or are set on fire or summon demon princes. So,
Well, I got an idea. Let's go ahead and pretend
please
that
roll
you're...
responsibly.
Well, let's go ahead and pretend that your power went through. So let's say you got like a, I don't know, 74. So let's go ahead and say your power activated for the purposes of this tutorial. And I think when we get all done with this, why don't we set you up against that Daemon Prince? Have you fight it.
Okay.
We could do that instead of the Hive
Watch
Tyrant.
me
There
get
you go.
stomped. Sure.
Alright. Alright, so that was your delayed half action, so it's your full turn now.
I'm going to spend 2 of my cohesion. Well, actually, I'm going to use a solo mode ability. Is free. I don't know. Does it cost anything to you? The Dark Angel solo
I think
mode?
Stoic you're using Stoic Defense. I think that's some cohesion points or whatnot, but go ahead and activate it. Okay.
I'm going to use a solo mode ability. Solo mode and squad mode abilities are, of course, personal and group abilities you can use in combat. This particular one is a Dark Angel's only one. It's called Stoic Defense. It'll give me a +6 temporary wounds, which is pretty good. Brings me up to 29 wounds, so, you know, fairly durable at the moment. And the downside is it reduces my movement speed to half. But again, not that big of a deal because I do have 5 movement speed, so, you know, half rounded up is still 3, and I don't really have to move from this position. So that's what I'm going to do, is activate it. So it's up, however, and so yeah, I mean, you can't really see it activated and stuff, but I have 29 things right now.
It's okay.
And I guess I will... Let's see, is he close enough for me to smite?
Maybe. Still keep in mind
Fucking
too that
no.
the solo mode and stuff abilities are usually free actions, so you should still have your whole turn to do it, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. Let's see. I could push a smite. We've already seen me fail one attempt.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need more psychic phenomenons and perils, and you getting sucked into the warp and imploding.
I'll step up 3, which will be my half action, and then I'm gonna smite this Tyrannid Warrior. So incoming smite power manifestation unfettered, which I passed successfully, and then smite itself. It's the numbers underneath it. I actually smote him for 18 with a 3 armor pin.
Okay. So, since our first damage, I'll go ahead
I got
and...
a Righteous Fury in there. Does that count on smite?
Yeah, it counts on smite. Go ahead and do Righteous Fury and explain that then, I guess.
Okay. Righteous Fury in lore, I guess, is like a bullet or a swing or a power that has particularly righteous zeal behind it, like it's graced by the Emperor himself. And what it does in game is actually just give you an extra D10 roll to add to your normal damage. And it happens on only 10s. So when you roll a 10, you get Righteous Fury for it. So 2 extra damage has been added on my 18, which brings it up to a 20 with
Re-roll your power
it's
manifestation.
pretty nice to have.
You have to do the Righteous Fury check to make sure you actually get it. Okay.
Which I succeeded in.
When you roll a 10
It's
on
like
a
a
damage die, in order to actually get the Righteous Fury, you have to like confirm it first. So in order to confirm it, you re-roll the action that you did in order to cause it. So if it's like a bullet, then you re-roll a ballistic test. If it's a melee attack, then you re-roll a weapon skill. If it's a psychic power, you re-roll the manifestation. Then you just have to beat out whatever you used to land the hit in the first place. So he rolled a 53, which is under 75. So it does 2 additional damage on top of his 18, which equals 20 with 3 pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So since I got hit, I'll go ahead and explain how soaking works. So earlier I was talking about armor and toughness, which directly reduces the damage that enemies or your character takes. So the first thing we will factor in is we can factor straight in his toughness. So this enemy's toughness he has a toughness bonus of 10. So I automatically knock out 10 damage. Boom. His damage goes from 20 now to 10. Now we factor in my armor. The armor on this guy is 8 in every spot, which is why I did not ask where Sorrow specifically hit me. Because it doesn't matter. I got 8 in every spot. So, his attack, though, did have a penetration of 3, so my armor will soak 5 damage. So I will take a total of 5 damage. So I soaked 15 out of his 20 points of damage. And I will go ahead and mark this on my guy. And I will show you the wounds from my Tyrannid Warrior. I actually have 48 wounds on this guy. And you'll see me as a DM, what I'll do is I'll write the 48 in there, and then I'll just put how many wounds he has suffered so far. So he has suffered 5. And then once that number reaches 48 or above, then I know he's in critical. And that's kind of what I put in my notes here. And I mark it, and I'm good. So I think that was your full turn, Sarah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so it goes back to me now. So now that I had moved up and kind of baited him out a little bit, I am going to do what Tyrannid Warriors do best when closing gaps, which is charge. So I will use my 18 movement charge.
I'd like to use a reaction.
I am not at you yet, good sir.
I know. Just telling you before you get caught up in your explanation.
Yep. So he charges, and let's see if I hit you first. 53. My weapon skill is 55, so this will hit. Though there is another aspect to the game which Sorrow is going to explain right now, I think. So take it away.
Sort of. I'm gonna use my reaction to cast Iron Arm, which is a Psyker ability, but it actually is able to be cast on a reaction. And I'm casting it because it basically gives me another reaction, which is to parry. So, we're going to try to manifest it unfettered, hopefully not summoning a Daemon for it, which it's successful. So there's that. Power is up for 3 rounds currently for me. And I'm going to use my parry for this guy. I'm also going to plus 10 it. Use my plus 10 from Possibility Shield added to my parry, which effectively gives me 105 parry. So whatever his first attack is, will miss.
Sorry, what did you ask?
I said I'm done. I've
Okay.
got my Iron Arm up, and
Okay.
I'm going to, for your attack, I'm going to use my parry.
Alright, so
From Iron Arm.
alright, so go ahead and use your Iron Arm to do your specific parry.
Okay. I'm adding my plus 10 to it, so manifest I would have succeeded anyways, but I also have a plus 30 from Iron Arm itself, and Possibility Shield gives me a plus 5 times Psy rating, which is PR written in the book usually. It gives me a 5 times my Psy rating, which would make it 15, and then Iron Arm actually does the same thing. So, 30 plus 40, and I have a willpower of 60, so it's effectively 100, and I can't fail unless I roll a 96 to 100.
That's your parry? Wait, I'm confused now.
Or wait, right.
You mean weapon skill. Okay, he means weapon skill,
It's
guys.
it's still like way over what I need it to be.
He means he uses his weapon skill to parry. So the attack is effectively doesn't hit him.
Parry.
I guess parry, yeah. So that'd be my entire
Parry and
turn.
dodge are cheap.
Yeah, that'd be my entire turn because charge is a full round action. So we go back to him. So go for it.
I'm going to aim an attack, or I'm going to careful aim my hammer swing, so it gives me a plus 10 to my melee, or it gives me a plus 10 to my weapon skill base. So I'm going to melee attack him next, which is that, and it's a failure. So you go, Hosen.
Okay. So he tried to swing at me, but didn't hit. And my Hive Warrior is going to swift attack him, which is a full round and will allow me to do 2 melee attacks in my round. So I'll go ahead and roll both my attacks. The 62 misses, but the 1 hits.
I'm going to try to parry the 1. I'm going to add my plus 10 to the parry as well. So it is a failure, actually.
Ouch. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and I have all my damage here. So I hit him with what do I have? Where's my stuff? Oh, Scything Talon? Yeah, Scything Talon. Okay. So since I did hit him, I get to roll damage against him. He missed the parry. So this will be my damage roll. .22 penetration 3, and I hit you in the 1, which I guess is a 10, so head, I think.
Head.
So my Scything Claw hits you in the head, Space Marine.
So I have 10 toughness and 8 armor in the head. So I actually reduce automatically, or I reduce 18 of that damage, but with a pin 3, I would be reducing 15 of the damage. So he actually did 7 points of damage to me, or 7 wound, which gets rid of my stoic defense, but allows me to move my full movement speed. So I'm down to 22 wounds.
Okay. And that would be my turn, the swift attack, so it is back to you, buddy.
I'm going to spend a half action stepping back to here actually, and then I'm going to smite your Tyranid warrior. In this game, if you move, it's like D&D. If you just move straight away from a character, it actually provokes an attack of opportunity. You'll hear it called AOO, usually, or any number of things because people won't say the acronym right. But they mean attack of opportunity, and all it does is basically give your enemy a free attack on you, or you a free attack on your enemy. It works both ways. But you can spend a half action to step straight back, or step one square away from them, and it uses up your entire move, but you don't provoke one. And there's other things you can do like that, but we're not going to use them. But now I'm going to smite. So, Unfettered Manifestation is a failure because I didn't add my +10 to it. So, you go, Jose.
Psychic Phenomenon.
Yes, another Psychic Phenomenon. Roll it.
38.
38 is not that bad. .38 is Demonic Mask. I gain a fear rating of 1 for the rest of the round, and I gain 1 corruption point.
Uh-oh.
See, not that bad. The corruption's kind of shitty, but, you know, it comes with being what I am.
Ooh.
The fear rating would actually be pretty nice if I wasn't fighting Tyranid.
Yeah, they're pretty fearless.
Yeah.
Sorta. Well, you know, they just eat everything, so whatever it is. Okay, so that ends your turn.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So I'll step up to him and attack. 71 is a miss. So that'd be the end of my turn, and back to yours. Alright.
So, I hope you guys were paying attention just then. If you notice, the Tyranid Warrior had a 2 attack per round thing, but it's a full round action, so he actually can't move or anything with it. So if I just step back, like, it doesn't matter so much for my character because I can parry 2 attacks if I get lucky, but a lot of the times you can't. So if you can move your opponent or move yourself efficiently, you can easily negate a lot of the attacks they have or stuff like that. So I guess now I'm going to step back again, and I don't know how well that cover. I'm probably not in it yet, but I'm going to smite one more time. So an Unfettered Power Manifestation for smite. That one is also a fail by quite a lot, actually. So it's your go, Hosen.
Okay. Hey guys, we were back. We made a slight error in the combat rules real quick regarding the 1 meter step, so Sar's gonna take it away.
Yeah, the 1 meter step, all this stuff I said about earlier, throw it out. So far we haven't found any proof that it's in the game. So we'll just leave it out for now, and instead of taking a step back, I'll actually reuse that roll to see if I can maneuver the Tyranid Warrior back a step, and if not, it wouldn't have mattered because we'll end up in the same spots. So I guess I just make a weapon attack against him, and however many degrees of success I have above his,
You just test
win.
weapon skill against him, so just roll your D100. You got a 55, which means he passed exactly with a 55, so you just have to get 1 degree of success or more.
Which I did.
Alright, so go ahead and push him back, or push him 1 square in any direction. And effectively this is the same thing as the 1 meter step, which doesn't exist. We were getting confused with the 5-foot step from D&D, which allows you to move 1 square back without taking an AOO. In this game they make you either do a full action to disengage to avoid the AOO, or they make you maneuver, make an attack maneuver, which is a half action to push him in any direction. So he succeeded. He'll push the Tyrant Warrior, or the Tyranid Warrior in any direction with 1 square. 1 meter. Do you have control over it, or do I have to do it? Yeah, you got it. Okay.
And that ends my turn.
Okay. So we should be about where we left off. So my
Mhm.
so the gotta get back into melee. So I will use my I will use a half action to just move that 1 meter, and I'll go ahead and scythe attack him. Oh, yeah, and I got a 20, so that's a hit.
I will parry it. I'm also going to add my +10 to it. So I succeeded in my parry.
Okay. Ignore the under 51. He just uses the macro for the D100 there, pretty much, and it. So.
It's a base. The under 50, yeah, it's just a base for my weapon skill to tell me what I roll. So we just ignore it when it's not weapon skill.
Yeah, there's usually quite a few bonuses going on, and we never throw on the bonuses for like the text down here. So he's got like possibility shield going on, which can give him +10 if he wants it to. He's got Iron Arm, which gives him a bonus, and Possibility Shield gives him a Possibility Shield gives him a passive bonus to dodge and parry, as well as allowing him to add an extra 10 to any one ability during his turn. So we get quite a few bonuses going there. So whenever things say like under 50, that's just their base. So that's if he had no bonuses, but he usually always have bonuses for stuff usually. So he'll succeed on his parry because he has an ungodly or ungodlike parry, or super godlike parry really. Of like 95, so he'd have to roll under light, or he'd have to roll over a 95 really to fail his parry, which you kind of hit the auto fail there anyways. But the Tyranid Warrior's attack is parried, which means it's nullified, and that would be his entire turn. So it'd be back to Sorrow.
Okay. I'm going to try to careful aim a melee attack against him. See if I can get some killing rolls sometime during this game. So here comes my melee attack, which is a failure. So unusually I rolled 251s, but beyond that, it's still a failure.
C1 is
with a +10 added on it. I had a careful aim added onto it. Did I ever say that in there?
You rolled a melee attack. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume if you didn't full out attack, I'd assume you had an aim on it. So
I had 10 on it. I thought I'd said I was aiming.
Unless you're trying to do the half action swing and then the half action maneuver back.
Careful aimed, or I aimed, then I swung, and it was a 51, so it actually made it under 60, which I still succeeded at. So we're going to see if the Tyranid reacts to anything.
He will. Sorry about that. I was typing. He's going to try and parry. His parry is a 55. So 27 will parry the attack.
There you go. That's
so
melee combat.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and do. Let's go ahead and do one more round because we can obviously see that these people are pretty evenly matched, and one-on-one fights can tend to drag out sometimes. You don't want to sit you guys here all day and go through an entire fight. It could take a while. So why don't we go ahead and do one more swift attack against Sorrow and see if I can land both of them, and then maybe you can do a double parry or something. And then why don't we set up that fight, that DAEMON Prince, just to have a little bit of fun. Okay, so I basically fucked that up. Let's go to the DAEMON Prince now. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while I find a DAEMON Prince picture. This is pretty much extra stuff, really. We've covered quite a bit of the combat stuff, so unless you really want to see him fight the DAEMON Prince, I'll see you guys in the next video, I guess. Hey guys, I actually forgot to talk about hordes, so why don't I do that real quick before we go in with the DAEMON Prince. So hordes work differently than normal mobs. How they work is you take a bunch of shitty enemies, you throw them into a horde, make the unit bigger, and blah, there you go. Now you got a much powerful enemy. Effectively, hordes don't really have wounds. What they have instead is what's called magnitude. So on my notes, what I would do is make something like this. So let's pretend that this horde is a magnitude 30 horde. Beep boop. Okay, so what the magnitude really means is magnitude is kind of like its wounds, I guess. So, but it's as a group. But magnitude plays in a few different ways. First of all, the bigger the magnitude, the more damage they will do. There's a cap on it. I'll go over it. Also, the more attacks they get. Again, there's a cap, and I will go over it. And effectively, like I said earlier, you take enemies that really couldn't do anything to the Space Marines by themselves, and now they can kick some butt. So let's go ahead and look at the changes of this Hormigaunt horde, or I guess let's look at the changes of a single Hormigaunt going into a horde. So effectively, the Hormigaunt's attack. Let me find it here real quick. Got all my stuff scattered in the book because I am never prepared. Okay, Hormigaunt. Okay, so Hormigaunt's attack is a Scything Claw, which is a 1d10 plus 5 for the pin 3. So I will type that out because I probably talk too fast. 10 plus 5 pin 3. So that little one Hormigaunt did 7 damage with the pin 3. What the fucking do? Which isn't much. So now let's talk about when you throw it into a horde, what happens. So, don't spam me up while I'm doing this, you're mean. Okay, so basically what happens is you take the 10th digit of the magnitude of the horde and you add that in d10s to the damage. So a magnitude 30 horde now has an attack of this. So I take my 1d10 and add a 3d10 to it, making it a 4d10. So I would hit for 4d10 plus, what am I, 5 pin 3. So that's how a 30 magnitude horde goes. And 30 is the cap on damage and number of hits. So if I was a 40 magnitude, I would have the same damage. 50, same. 60, same. If I went to 20 magnitude, then I would drop a d10 and a hit. If I went to 10 magnitude, I'd drop another d10, going down to 2d10, and an additional hit. So here's how much damage a magnitude 30 or above Hormigaunt horde would do. So 28 pin 3. So you can see, big fucking difference. Huge difference. Now what I mean by hits is this horde can actually attack 4 times in one turn. Yep. So that's what I would roll if I hit all 4 times, and you can see you can shred people with that. Now, damaging hordes is different. When you damage hordes, you're not so much looking for big damage numbers. What you're actually looking for is the amount of times you hit the horde. This horde basically needs to be hit about 30 times, and then it will be destroyed. And that might be like, wow, Sorrow fought it, it would take like 30 rounds. But no. Different weapons affect hordes differently, such as flamethrowers can deal a lot of hits. For example, a heavy Astartes flamethrower, I believe, is a 1d5 plus 8 to the magnitude damage, which is that right there. Which means if he used an Astartes flamethrower or his Avenger Psyker power, which mimics that, he would have done 11 magnitude damage to it. So you can see you can burn hordes pretty fast. Other than that, there's really not too much about hordes. That kind of covers it all. So, without further ado, let us go to our DAEMON prince. And I have all his stats here, and I gave him the Mark of Corn, because blood for the blood god. And, so, let's go ahead and do this bonus fight. So, roll your initiative, Sarah, I guess. Just, so same scenario, Space Marines walk around the desert, sees a fucking DAEMON prince, and pick a fight. And, okay. So what's my agility bonus on this guy? Okay. So my agility bonus is actually a 4, so I go to 6 as well. What's your agility, Sorrow?
5.
So you're 50, or are you 55, or what? Well, I guess it's me.
50.
Okay. So since we tied in initiative, you go with the person who has a higher agility. He actually beats my agility by 2, which means he acts first. Go for it, Sarah. And I know we're pretty close and stuff, and it's all basic.
I'm going to spend half action moving back to here, somewhere. Cover is what I'm aiming for. And then I'm going to cast Possibility Shield on myself. Try to anyway. So an Unfettered Power Manifestation, which is a massive failure. So your turn.
Okay. So my movement speeds for this character is 7, 14, 21, and 42. And I'm not too sure actually if I am straight lined with you. I'll probably fall off your mountain here if I did that. So I will run all the way up top of the mountain with him. He uses 14, I guess. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh no, someone's
Can I use reaction to your movement?
Okay. Alright, so I moved and I guess Sorrow's going to use a reactionary. So go ahead.
I'm going to try to manifest Iron Unfettered, which was a success, much better than the last. So Iron Arm will actually be my power that's up all the time for this fight. And I guess now it's my turn.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm also not using some of the special qualities of the Daemon Prince. I don't want to make this fight too confusing. I just want to basically use what we've learned so far. There's a lot more in depth about the Daemon Prince, but we'll pretend that doesn't really exist for this. We just want basics. So your turn is over, correct?
That was just well, that was my reaction.
Or your reaction, right? So it is your turn now. So what are you gonna do?
Since we're here, when I use a reaction like that, it's not going to use up my... I can still use another power in this turn, right?
Did you use a power on your turn?
It was just a reaction. No.
Okay.
I haven't used a power yet on my turn. I've just used my reaction on his turn.
Yeah, you just can't... Yeah, if you... Yeah, so like when it cycles to your next turn, if you had used the reaction on your prior turn to Iron Arm, then you're fine. You haven't used... If it was your turn and you use like Possibility Shield, then on your same turn you use the reaction to Iron Arm, then yeah, you can't double manifest like that. But I think you're okay.
So I'm going to spend half action casting Possibility Shield. I'm trying to summon and manifest it unfettered. Since it's a Daemon Prince, I'm going to push a Possibility Shield manifestation.
Would you roll a 99?
So,
what was that from?
That was my first try to manifest Possibility Shield.
Oh, that's a psychic phenomenon. Whatever.
Yeah.
You've had too many.
Anything about it. I've had pretty bad rolls this session.
Oh my god, I know. At least you're getting them all out.
So I'm going to push my Possibility Shield so I can get the 6 bonus to it. It'll actually give me a 30 to my dodge or parry, which is good. I mean, I need as much as I can have. And it needs to last for as long as I can have it because I don't need to try to re-up it constantly. So a push manifestation is a pass, and roll your 1d100 Hosen. Let's see what I get. 95, 89. That is a Perils of the Warper course, and 89 actually is a reality quake, which reality buckles around the Psyker, and an area within 3d10 of him is sundered. Solid objects alternately rot, burn, or freeze, and everything and everyone in the area takes 2d10 rending damage. Warded objects and untouchables suffer half the damage. So since it happened, let's just go with it, because it does hurt the Daemon Prince as well. Hopefully I won't take that much damage from this.
Alright, so how much damage do you do against the Prince, and is any of it ignored by... is the damage ignored by toughness or armor at all?
No, it just says 2d10 rending damage.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your rending damage.
Oops, sorry, wrong button. So I got a 4 and 2 4s and 2 7s. No. A 6, a 7. So you take the higher of the 2 on both rolls. So I got... Yeah, I think, isn't that what rending damage is?
No, rending damage is just another type of damage, like impact. It's tearing you're thinking of, which lets you do the rolls.
Yeah, that's right, tear.
So, so you said it was like a 3d10, right, damage?
It's a 3d10 for area of a affected area.
Alright, so just roll 3 10 dice.
So, it's 13.
Or you could take the 6 7 7.
Yeah, for affected area, but it's just us. I don't think anything else around us will be hit.
Okay, so you'll do.
But it would be a 6, a 7, and a 7, so that's fine.
Oh, brackets. I can't do maths. So 14, 6,
6
20.
is 20 meters.
Okay. So everyone just takes 20 wounds?
No, it's that's just area. You take
Oh, okay.
2d10 damage.
Okay.
Each person takes 2d10 damage, so 12 damage for everybody. It may be reduced by armor and stuff though, so.
There's no note of it, so and it's only a 2d10,
No.
and that is a high roll, so I'm actually would assume that it's not reduced by anything.
I didn't think it was because it just says it says anything and everything. So
Yeah.
you break the whole world basically. Doors, dirt, weapon. It's like they all take damage from this.
Okay.
12 wound are gone.
Well, you still gain your possibility shield. You just caused that while you did it.
I did gain it for 6 rounds, and I do get a plus 30 to my dodge and parry rolls.
Alright. Is that the end of your turn?
Daemon Prince. Coming to
I think
get
I'm
you.
gonna move up here. I'm just gonna step up and use up my half action. I'm just moving up 1 square to get a little better cover,
Okay.
basically.
You can't hide from the Daemon Prince, young Space Marine. Wahahaha. Tis my turn. I shall move up to here and cleave you through your cover with my single attack with my chaos. Forge War Sword. Muhahaha. 200 Lord go. 95. Fuck. I missed. Your turn, Space Marine. What will you do?
It's my roleplay
I
voice.
will. Right.
Can't fathom the things I will do to you.
I'm gonna do and
Fucking kill you.
better not. I should maneuver him, but he'll have like hella weapon skill.
Ah, but
He
you
can
don't
still
know.
fail.
You don't know my weapon skill.
I think I will hammer him. Try to. So, basic melee attack first,
I shall
which is a success.
parry your attack, Space Marine. I didn't parry. Fuck. No
So
damage.
hammer, big damage. It's pretty big. I had 22, and my killing will apply. So I'm actually going to push my killing will damage.
I shall try to
Push
resist. I fail? Oh shit.
So I succeed by 9. How many does killing will give me pushed? Is it
30
5
on your
times my power?
plus 30 on your
So
willpower.
it's a 90. So I actually get a plus 8. I get 8 extra killing will hit. Oh, there's just blood. As you can see, I had 4 Righteous Furies in there as well. So I'm going to try to make sure they all hit.
Fail. Hit. Hit. And what is
2
that?
hits, 2 fails. So I had 8, 10, 8. So we have 16. Well, we have 18. Oh wait, no, that's a normal one. So we have 10, 16, 26, 36, 38, 44, 54, 64, 62, 72, no, 64, 71, and that's it. So 71 damage.
71,
With
I got
8 and,
83. I can't fucking do math, I guess. Oh,
It's
you
hard
got
to count.
71, and then... Oh, I don't know.
My 22 hadn't been added on there yet. So I had 71
I
plus
must've-
22, which would make it 93 with an AP of 5.
I guess I missed a 10. Okay, 93 AP of 5. Let's see. I think you just one-shotted this thing.
So, Damon, how much experience does that give me, Hosen?
You don't get any.
That's gotta be a promotion.
Okay, okay, well, if you want to take into account of everything that's happened, your character would be dead.
Well, yeah, of course. I'd killed myself earlier in round 1 of the Tyranid Warrior. I imploded and summoned this guy, actually.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't be here. Everyone else would have to fight him, and they
Oh,
can't
Horde.
one-shot him. Alright, so hang on. I got 12 armor everywhere, and 12 damage reduction. So you have a pin of what on your weapon? 5? So
5.
that gives me... Okay, so I have
19.
24. I go down to 19, so I soak 19 off your 22. I take 3. Now what's your killing will? Specific damage.
71.
You're an asshole. You killed my Daemon Prince!
So, okay, that's insane for one. But, you know, there you go. That's how the dice roll.
He's crit 6. Zip. Wait, hang
He's
on.
not quite dead, but, oh, we have a note to be read.
I'm gonna burn, let's see. I don't know what crit 6 is, but I'm gonna burn a fate point so that the critical doesn't happen to me. Now it's my turn. I have 3 fate points.
So what are you at? 1 hit point?
No, I'm crit 6. Oh, I have 3 fate points.
Oh, you just didn't have anything bad. Okay, that's fine.
No, I just burned I burned one of my fate points. I'm touched by the fate 3 for the Daemon Prince, so I'm gonna
Right.
burn one of his fate points to avoid the critical damage. And now it would just go over to my turn, and I will fucking lightning attack you because this shit's not over until he's dead. Full auto on it, 3 hits. I go from 75 weapon
So-
skill to 95. Plus I have Hatred Space Marines, so I actually go to 105, which just caps 100. 3 hits on you.
I'm going to try to parry both of them, which will automatically succeed because I have hella parry unless I roll 90. Which I rolled. I'm good. Both of them are successful. So
Alright.
hit me with one of those.
You do not know the power I have, Space Marine. I have fate points.
The felling 1 takes away your natural toughness bonus.
So I'm dead.
Burn your fate points.
Burn it! Come on, do it!
Hella dead.
Burn your fate points.
I'm actually like -2. I'm at -2 hit wound.
Oh. I hit you. Where'd I hit you? I guess we'll take the 50. Hit you in the 5, your head. Crit 2 on head
Yeah.
with rending.
So I'm going to. Can I heal from -2 wounds?
Yeah, you can spend a fate point to do it. And that's free action. You can do that whenever you want.
So I'm gonna spend 3 fate points to heal myself up to however much I heal for. What do you roll? 1d10s?
D10 for each
25.
fate point you spend on healing yourself.
So I healed for 11. That's terrible.
It's okay. I didn't even use my fate points to heal the dude. I just immediately burned one. Though I had to, because I was crit 6. You'll still have to take that crit 2 unless you burn the fate point.
I'll take crit 2.
Alright.
I don't have any more fate point.
Alright. I'm going to pause while I look up crit 2 because this is getting good. Be right back. Alright, we are back. So the Daemon Prince had hit Sorrow in the head with his Chaos Forged War Sword and dropped him all the way to crit 2 in one hit. And what happened was basically I tore off a piece of his scalp, or I guess, you know, went right through his power helmet into his head, chunked him, and he's going to have 1 level of fatigue because of this. But it is his turn, so go for it.
So I'm going to try to so I'm gonna push a smite against him.
Okay.
So my power manifestation plus whatever I get for pushing it, extra 15, is a hell of a success. What am I roll?
56 on your
I think
psychic
that's the
phenomenon.
gravity one again.
Oh, well, okay. You rise up, you fall down, no
50...
fall damage.
Actually, it's warp ghosts.
Oh.
Everyone within the area must test against Fear 1. Everyone within the area.
Alright, well, that doesn't matter for this point. So, carry on.
Going to...
Smite damage.
34 with a 6 AP.
34, 6 AP. Okay, so I go to 18, so 34 minus 18. Okay. 16 points of damage, so I'm effectively at negative... fucked, pretty much. I think I might just give this one to you. I have 3 fate points, but I think we have proven quite enough that Daemon Princes are pretty strong, and so are Librarians.
Who get lucky? That was a normal roll. A normal melee swing from a Daemon Prince.
So as you can see, the Librarians are clearly the RNG kings of this game.
Yeah. Because I've both annihilated myself, annihilated the world, and now annihilated a Daemon Prince. So...
Yeah. Anyways, man, we've been recording for like an hour now. I don't watch. I bet like nobody's even watching this far. Oh well. Hey. You know,
that's part of the video nobody sees.
Yeah, this is like the weird side of the video, you know? It's like weird side of YouTube. Dude, we probably like do anything here and nobody would ever notice or like ever watch this far. Oh well. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.